So when I first came to Denmark in 2012, what I found really difficult was learning the language. And the language school I was going to was difficult. I didn't do very well. And then I got introduced to this book by Halfdans Rasmussen. Well, I asked, what is a vaskebjørn? And I'm like, why are there raccoons washing all the clothes? And it's because vaskebjørn means washing bear in Danish. And for me, a door in my mind unlocked and opened because I realized that if that was the case, if raccoon was washing bear, then there was unlimited amount of things that I could learn that would be funny about the Danish language. And that's really began the process of me observing a lot more what people were saying and reading things a lot more closely, and then writing ideas and jokes down, and all of that became the material that I would then go on to perform.
Sweet Internationals, we are back. I'm in a weird position because I come from England, but I'm living in Denmark. But my Danish friends, they still feel like they can bitch to me about immigrants. It gets a bit weird. It gets a bit weird. Like, for real, I was at the weekends. This place is a cocktail bar. I was down here having some drinks and I met these people at the table. We were chatting. And then one of them genuinely turned to me and went, "Conrad, these fucking immigrants." And I didn't want to, so I was like, yeah, coming over here, not learning the language, motherfuckers. Times when I'm with groups of Danish friends and then suddenly everybody's speaking Danish and then I'm just sitting there. And you don't want to be that guy who's just like starts staring at their phone or whatever, so you just have to pretend. I even have a bit in the comedy about I didn't learn Danish, I just got really good at pretending that I can speak Danish. That's my whole thing. If you're one-on-one talking Danish with somebody, that's 1,000 times easier than a group, because in a group, when you're all sitting there in a pub and everybody's talking, one, you can't follow what's going on, and secondly, you have to suddenly enter this weird, I've got to act natural thing, where you have to be like, oh, I understand. You can think about things like that really negatively and think, oh, do I want to live in Denmark because things like this happen all the time and it's so hard. And then other times you can think, well, this is a goldmine for comedy material. And it's okay that this is my life and my situation. And that's fine. It's just something that you just have to use in a positive way. Danish people love to snacker. Have you met Danes? They like to snacker dance. They like to chat Danish with each other. That's pretty hoodly. It's pretty cute. And the thing is, I don't understand what they're saying, but sometimes I want to try to join the conversation, but I don't know what they're talking about. Like this time, these two girls were snackering away, and what I didn't realize is one of the girls was saying to the other that her grandmother had just died. And then my ginger face appeared and said, sorry, what's the Wi-Fi password? At school, we did French and then we did German. And I hated it because it just wasn't fun. It was never fun. It was always like the conversations that you would be taught to have would be very, very dull. And then I realized in Denmark that, especially from when I had a Danish girlfriend and started hanging out more with Danish people, that it was fun because there was this whole weird and magical world that you could exist in and that you could kind of share with those people. And it was a good sharing point.
Oh, God. Oh, well, they really liked the show.
Yeah, it's like success with the meetings. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, this is that game where you get drunk and use hammers in Denmark. What a danger. This is the most dangerous game ever. How do you... I kind of fell in love with Danish in a new way. And I mean, that's the core of my comedy career, is this kind of like presentation of Denmark to Danes, and then they love it. It's like catnip for a kitten. That's the reality of Flæskes Fair. Have you spoken English with a Danish person recently? It's fucking terrifying. It's fucking terrifying. They're using words and vocabulary that I don't even know. And I'm from a middle-class white family. Like, we went to fucking school. And it's crazy, the things they say.
They're constantly apologising. That's what upsets me. They'll be saying things to me like, Conrad, I'm so sorry, and my English is not as rambunctious, fallacious and fandabulicious as it once could be. Perchance I hasten to improve my vocabulary by spending one more moment with you. And I just, what are you talking about? Is my main, what are you talking about? And they're constantly apologising to you. And then you actually start to forget that they speak Danish, that they are a Dane and have their own secret language, until their phone rings. You know that weird moment? You're talking to a Danish person, oh yes, hello, I was on the battalion in the morning. And then they take out their phone. You little ding-dong flammerlin. Fludeloodle flibberlip. Hvis du rejser mod rejsekort.
Obvious things that you're saying.
Well, you can't score a goal unless you actually score a goal. And then what, put the text over us?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm thinking. What do you think?
Yeah. A lot of, if not all good stand-up comedians are suffering with some form of a depression. They're sad about something. That's why they're funny. People who are positive and wake up every morning and go, yes, I want to get out of bed. Those people aren't going to be good on stage.
Like, say we end up in a situation where we have an audience saying that, oh, you're the one trick pony and we're not going to come see it. What we would do is just go out and produce stuff that shows them that they're not right. It's just about this works and people like it, like you see here.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. To some degree, every artist has that conundrum, because the audience loves you for what you do on one project, and then the hard thing is to not typecast yourself. So you don't just always want to be that guy from that movie or whatever, but broaden yourself.
yeah.
I think I have a funny face. What do you think? Do you think I have a weird face? I do. I have a weird face. I do. I have a weird. I love one of those faces where I don't look old and I don't look young. I just sort of look fucked up, don't I? I just look like I did glue when I was a teenager. Like, ugh. And I was looking at myself in the mirror hard, and I was thinking to myself, what do I look like to the average person? And it clicked. Suddenly it clicked, and I realised I look like a school shooter. It's fucking true. Look at my face. Everybody get a good look at my face. Have a good look. Draw a frame around this. Put it in the local paper. 11 dead at Aarhus University. I've met this friend of a friend who I heard was really depressed. She was so miserable about her whole life. And what I couldn't help but feel when she was telling me these stories was there was an element about it that was actually quite funny. If you look at it and go, this is my life and my life is dreadful, yeah, you're going to get a fucking depression. But if you use it for something, it just depends. It just depends on how you shape it. And that's what's great about stand-up comedy. You can have the most negative interaction that could have ruined your day, but actually it can be quite an interesting story and funny if you tell it in the right way. That's the old mantra. Comedy is tragedy plus time. Like, eventually everything becomes funny because it's so distant that we realise it didn't really matter. It's only when you're in it in that moment that it's traumatic, but afterwards you can laugh about it.